Aloha, you guys. Shalom. Shalom. So, I was just going about my night, and this came in totally unexpected, that I should just hop on and do a little special Rosh Hashana reading, because Rosh Hashana is coming up. So this one isn't going to be for everybody. It's just going to be for whoever happens to tune in at this random moment. Rosh Hashana begins Friday night. It's technically known as the New Year on the Hebrew calendar, but it's so much more than that. It's the anniversary of the creation of Adam, the first man, and it's, as always, metaphorical. And this holiday and the other high holy days that follow right after in a cycle are a process or a technology that anyone, anywhere in the world, any age, man, woman, boy, girl, can access. So for those of you who are already tuned into that program, you'll probably find yourself here magnetized to this video. So this is, again, just for whoever happens to be present right here, right now, to see this and receive this. So I went to go grab my tarot deck to follow these intuitive instructions that I'm downloading. And it was like, no, grab the Hebrew cards. And I haven't used these the last few weeks for the activations. So I'm glad to use them now. So just tuning into the energy of Rosh Hashana and the holidays that follow. Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Shemini Atzeret, Simchat Torah. This is a sacred cycle where basically we're rewriting our story for the year ahead, where we're setting the blueprint or the foundation of what's to come. A time to really access these potent energies that are coming in, to capitalize on those energies, make the most of this time, shedding all of the outer layers of obstruction and limitation, and meeting self at the center in truth, staying there like a pillar, like an anchor, through these high holy days, also known as the days of awe, to really transform our experience here forth. So knowing that this is what we're stepping into starting Friday night, I wish to ask, and I think these cards, these archetypes, these sources of wisdom in advance, I wish to ask, what's our biggest challenge right now? Something that when we see it, we'll recognize it, but something we maybe haven't been giving enough attention to, that is now calling in our fullest awareness. And what do we have to look forward to at the end of this holy sequence? Vav. This is the letter Vav, and it is associated with card 6, Arcanum 6, the Lovers, known in ancient Egypt as the two paths. The letter Vav represents a nail or a tent peg that secures. But what is it securing? When we're speaking of the divine, when we're speaking metaphysically, the divine purpose for a nail or a hook or a tent peg would be to connect two things. Well, those two things ultimately always come down to the polarities of the masculine and the feminine forces. It always comes down to the above and the below, the within and the without. So this would be the bridging factor. And when you consider that it is a bridge or a uniting factor, but it's also the challenge, right? 6, the Lovers, the two paths, we can start to see how we have to rise above the different options and paths to see the bigger picture, transcend the duality to reach that perspective of oneness, so that when we come back down into this world of appearances, we know which decision to make. We know which way to go. because we saw from the bigger picture. And although any path we choose, we can make it work, we were able to see what is the highest one. So Vav really represents going through the challenges and the trials and the decisions that we face in a way that brings us deeper into that state of peace, harmony, balance. Balance in our polarity so that that inner into our world. So bringing this into a simple concept. Sorry, I keep getting a phone call. Simplifying the concept. How does this look as our challenge for this powerful Rosh Hashana? It looks like, what is the decision you have to make? And can you just make it already? Whatever it is that you have to do to bring forth that balance that's within you, the time is now. We're supported more than ever to get through our struggles, to get through our challenges, to make the best decisions we can possibly make, which at this time of the year often require immense courage, fearlessness, the bravery to enter what we might have feared for so long as the unknown, but to finally say, I'm going to make that decision that I've known I had to make in the back of my mind all year. This is the final challenge, to really look at the decisions we need to make and make them. We have an access point here into a portal of great support from the universe. To capitalize on these energies, all we need to do is tune in. All the tools are inside and reflected all around you to remind you, me, us, one. So it's about asking, what are those decisions we need to make right now that are going to bring us more into balance inwardly, and also ultimately in every dimension outwardly, because as within, so without. As below, so above. How are we doing all that we can, making the decisions we know we need to make to ultimately connect to the higher realms, connect this earthly world to the heavenly world, heavenly realm, merging them. This is the Vav. The Vav is also like the human spine. And this is why the Vav, the sixth letter of the alphabet, represents man, the upright spine, Adam, who was created on the sixth day. How appropriate that Vav was chosen when the birth of Adam is the whole celebration, the whole concept of Rosh Hashana. We are this Vav, this nail, this world bridger, connecting the above and below, the within, without, the masculine and the feminine within our hearts, the spirit and the body, the ego with the soul. The heart, the mind. We are that. Our choices that we make are the whole reason that we're here, because we grow and learn through choices. In the higher realms where everything is already perfect, where everything already exists simultaneously as one, there's no need for a challenge, because we don't need to transcend. We're already there, perfect, whole. And that reality exists each moment. We could tune into that and allow it to inspire us and guide us while we're still here in this world, because we're in this world, we're not of this world. But our challenges are what keep us nailed to these bodies, to keep going through these experiences, which are ultimately here to help us transform, to progress in the evolution of consciousness, psychologically and spiritually progressing. That's why these challenges are here. Challenge equals chariot, right? The 6 is the challenge, 7 is the chariot, right? Without the challenge, there's no ascension. There's no Merkava. There's no chariot. That's the Hebrew word for chariot. Merkava. So we're here to recognize that the harsh decisions we're now facing are for our highest good. We asked for these challenges, as always. But not so much we ask for the challenges as we are asking for the growth that's within them, the opportunities for growth within them. We asked for those. And then the challenge comes up on us and sneaks up on us. And we're like, oh my God, it's so challenging. And then in that moment when it's so hard, not when it's easy, but in the moment when it's so hard, the game is to remember in that uncomfortable moment that we asked for the lesson that's within this challenge. And if we can do that, if we can, and we can, and we do, you have, and you felt good. If we can do, and we can say, oh yeah, I see the challenge, but also I'm pausing, I'm creating that space, that spaciousness, that expansiveness by calling my fullest self into my body, creating the space to reflect and not react, and to then respond from that space of wholeness and say, while I see the challenge, I now created the space to also see the opposite that lies hidden within it, because the law of hermetics say, right? The opposite lies hidden within. And I don't need some hermetic book to tell me that. It's in our experience. This is a law of operation that's back of all things, operating each moment. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist or a book to understand this. So if we can create that small space of reflection in the moment of discomfort or fear, that's when the real work happens. That's when we're able to see not only the challenge, but why it's happening to us and what opportunity for growth there is within it. And we could say, I got this. I see this sneaky ego coming in, life trying to teach me, and that's perfect because that's what I asked for. And so I'm going to receive that opportunity. And I'm going to see the challenge as the chariot. I'm going to see the next piece already implicit within this challenge. I'm going to see the gift implicit within the challenge. I'm going to see through the challenge all the way to the gift that is on its way. Because the challenge, once I'm perceiving it in my actual reality, my physical reality, it's already in the past. Because when we look around us with these human eyes, what we're seeing is a result of a past conception, a past thought. So I'm not going to look at a manifestation of a past thought and go, oh my God, and then become lost in that. I'm going to say, okay, cool. Well, why is this showing up in my experience? And what's more is, what can I gain from it? What can I learn from it? What can I now, in this here and now moment, extract from this situation? A helpful perspective to help not only me progress, but the one to progress through me. Us all to have a chance to learn and grow through my vessel. So see through the challenge. Love the challenge. I mean, don't be a masochist, okay? Don't be an nihilist. Don't get into a negative bubble or start saying, it's all about the challenge, because I mean, there are many other factors to this process, but the challenge is a tarot card for a reason. It's a major aspect of our life experience. So, like I said, don't obsess over your challenges, because then you'll just bring about more of them, and then that will become your challenge and your lesson, ironically. But instead, be open to the inevitability of these challenges, and carrying that knowing through these challenges that the gift is on the other side. Okay, so that was the first card. Let's see what we have to look forward to at the end of this Holy Day sequence. This came up for one of the recent activations, you guys. Was it the new moon? I think it was. I want to say it was the new moon. The star, okay? Pei is associated with the star. Remember, it's flipped because I'm on a camera right now, but this is the Hebrew letter Pei. You can spell it P-E-H if you want to look it up. And it's the star. It's the star card. It's truth. Okay? It's the 17th letter of the alphabet, but its number value is 80. So you could see when you take the number 17 and you reduce it to a single digit, 1 plus 7 is 8. What is 8? 8 in the tarot is the balance behind all things. So what this is implying is that the star of who we are is an illumination of the inner balance. Deep. Well, it's deep. but that's what it is. When you connect the tarot to the Hebrew alphabet, it kind of just paints a little bit of a bigger picture, you know? And then everything we study in life, we add to our tarot deck that's within. You know, everything only, you know, knowledge of any sort can only add to that picture. So just these two tools alone, the original tarot and the Hebrew alphabet, when you put them together, they really open things up. They really change your whole idea of tarot and your understanding of symbolism. So Pe is the star of hope inside, your center, who you truly are. And what is within that star is this ultimate balance within all things. It's balance, it's ma'at, it's truth, it's justice. It's that natural system of truth and justice that's built into the nature of who we are, built into our DNA. So it's saying that at the end of this process, once we accept our challenges, and one way to look at it is the 4 agreements, once we accept our challenges and we begin to stop taking everything so personally about what's going on, we accept this archetypal unfolding of our particular challenge, we stop making assumptions because we know what it is clearly now, certainty. We are impeccable with our word because we're aligning our word with our mission that we now know what it is with certainty. And we do our best because we're fully accepting the challenge, aware of it with certainty. And so we're moving through our process, you know, really giving it our all, understanding what our mission and purpose is right now. So once we do this work, we recognize the challenge, we open to it, and we fully support the change that's trying to take place through this challenge. We end up where? The star. Pe. Another thing is the letter right before Pe is the Ayin. So Ayin and then Pe, which in the tarot would look like the tower to the star. And that would be the pictorial symbols, because each Hebrew letter has a picture symbol associated with it, a hieroglyphic symbol. Those would look like an eye. Ayin is associated with an eye, the primordial eye, to be precise. And then the star is associated with the mouth. Pe is associated with the mouth. So we have the tower leading to the star, or the eye leading to the mouth. It's saying first we perceive the truth of what's going on. All the fake falls away. The tower crumbles. The material, the matter crumbles, but the truth remains. So it's that eye that lets out that lightning, that shock, that revelation of truth that breaks down all that is false. And then we come to the mouth and we can express and reflect upon what just happened and express, communicate what just happened. First we perceive and then we create. You know, they say abracadabra, right? You create what you speak. You know, this whole concept of what you speak things into creation, or we are the living word, right? So the mouth has always represented this creation, like God blew his breath into the nostrils of man, right? Speaking of Rosh Hashana and the Vav and Adam. So, but before God did this, blew the breath of life into man, he first had a conception or a vision of this man, a dream, an idea within the universal mind, and then it manifest into creation. So the original divine conception is often referred to as masculine. You know, this is why there are lots of different opinions about this, and a lot of women will say, well, why did woman come from man, from his rib? I mean, we birth babies from our womb, and you know, and there's really both. It's the yin yang. There's both sides to it. Before the material birth, there was also an immaculate conception from this perspective of the masculine to the feminine. That's speaking kind of in Kabbalistic terms. The masculine was this force beyond the cosmic womb that impregnated even that. So it's like before the Mary is the immaculate conception, you know what I'm saying? That's also the story that's told with Adam in the rib. It's metaphorical. It's explaining this original immaculate conception before the physical womb, where it was an idea that was then imprinted and created. going too far out. The Kabbalah. So just bringing it back. We're coming to this point of speaking into creation all that we are newly perceiving now in this divine opportunity with Rosh Hashana and this Hebrew New Year that's for all people to access. Right now, everything that we see and perceive and lock into our awareness and tend to inwardly, by the end of this cycle, we will be able to express this light within, this new light we are receiving. And the Kabbalists explain that we're preparing our vessel right now, mind, body, soul, so that we can receive the new incoming light of these days of awe, of these holy days. That it's really a technology, you guys. It's not a religious thing. It's a scientific thing for real. It's very real for anybody who wants to access it. So we're receiving this new light soon, and we have to prepare ourselves, because if we don't create a space for that light to come in, or if we don't create the conditions for the light to come in, we won't be able to contain it. So all the things that we wish for and we hope for, if we don't work for, if we don't prepare for, we're like a small cup that can't hold all the water. We have to expand the grail of the heart to receive the holy waters of creation and manifest in the direction we really want to, but by doing the work and preparing. So everything that we perceive right now, this is like the tower that comes before the star, right? Everything we're perceiving right now has to be in truth. Must have a foundation of truth, or else it will fall. It falls as we create it right now, because it's such a powerful time, in fact. And I know y'all are feeling this, and I know you're like, oh my God, yes. We're in such an intense time right now, energetically and in every dimension, that we're feeling the pressure, and it's almost like we're like, let me try this block, and then the tower falls, or like Jenga, right? It's like, oh, wrong one. You know, you can't put something on the foundation that's not based in truth, or it will immediately crumble. It's like a game. So we may as well be more efficient, because this portal is going to close, and not that we don't have these opportunities each moment, but it's extra powerful right now, simply because of the alignments that are happening in nature, all around us and within us. It's simply capitalizing on an already natural and organic process. So it's about really choosing wisely what we're seeing within, knowing soon it will be expressed and shined without. So we had the Vav, and we had the Pei. Basically 6, the lovers, the 2 paths, and 17, the star. One more thing, you guys, the star, or the Pei, I should say, is associated with Gemini energy. So when we express and come out of our shell with this new us at the end of this holy day cycle, there's going to be a lot of intermingling, reconnecting socially, bringing, I guess, all that we've manifested for our own selves together in community, so that we can build the next layer even and continue this growth. So there's going to be a lot of that kind of Gemini intellectual conversation, sharing, building. So for those of you that have been missing the social aspect, that's coming up more and more. All right, that's all I have to share. Drink your water, do your thing, enjoy. I will see you guys soon for the new moon activation, which will most likely be actually on Rosh Hashana. But that will be the big, usual weekly activation that we do, just in a super extra powerful. It's always so powerful. It's always so powerful. And one more thing I wanted to say is today we did our next class in our Zoom series, the occult symbolism within the tarot, and today was the death card in transformation, so perfectly fitting for Rosh Hashanah. And if you weren't there but you would like to take the classes, please reach out to me, private message me. Every class is recorded. We have cards 0 through 13 on record. Each file is about an hour long, sometimes longer, so there's plenty of material in the archive, as well as 2 bonus classes, one on accessing the divine feminine and one on accessing the divine masculine within the tarot, which is super helpful because the polarities are everything. Understanding these two, we can become more whole. And that's what essentially this Rosh Hashanah and repentance and forgiveness and judgment is all about. So a lot of helpful information in this archive. Reach out to me if you're curious about that. All right. Shalom.